Okay, so I had a question I want to get to answering. It was basically, if you see a currency collapse coming, is there any way that I think that you could profit from that? And the answer to that, yes, I do think there's a way to play your cards right. Now, obviously, you would want to put things aside, right? Food, water, firearms, ammunition, hygiene. I mean, all the stuff, right? Learn skills. You get it. Just because I don't mention it in that short list, don't mean, but all the basics. Something you would need for, some sort of scenario where you can't just go to the store and pick up what you need, right? You can't just call an ambulance or the cops or something, right? That kind of situation. There's plenty of stuff, and a lot of my videos are about how you can prep. But financial ways, let's go over some ways you can do. I'm kind of strapped for cash right now, so that, right now there's only certain things I can do, but in the past I've done other things, right? And I'm going to start at the ideas that I have that take the least amount of money to, more money, and you just do as much as you can. Even if there is no economic calamity, you can see what's going on. Like, for example, look at the currency. We're losing value, purchasing power every year. Look at my grandfather had 9 kids, right? Stay-at-home wife. They had a house, car. There was no credit cards, no welfare. The man, I'm not sure what grade, but he didn't finish middle school, right? Construction worker and medical care, fed them all. You can't do that nowadays. That's impossible, right? So even if there is no currency collapse, still, I see that as impossible, but still, you're losing your purchasing power. So obviously, the first thing you could do is put copper pennies and nickels aside. There's been lots of talk about changing the nickel, but they haven't done it yet, right? Except for Jefferson war nickels, 1942 to 45, which have 35% silver. You'll never find, really. The rest will be 75% copper, 25% nickel. And pennies, half of them in 82 are copper, half are zinc. So I just say put 81s aside. I've made videos on that. You can check it out. And that'd be for small transactions. Even if there was no collapse, still the value of the metals itself, just like with silver, coins that disappeared and you buy them in a higher, more than their face value, the same thing would apply there, right? A penny is already worth 2.5 cents in copper, so you already win. So that's the first thing you can do, right? And people say, what would good with that do? You look at, the USSR, people were tearing down infrastructure to sell the base metals. Back in 2008, people were cutting copper wire out of air conditions. Stealing manhole covers and stuff like that. Base metals do have value. They do, and even in times like that, people using base metals to survive in one way or another, right? So that would be the first way to do it with very little money, right? And watch videos I've gone into detail. The second thing, if you have a little bit of money, instead of base metal coins, I would say silver. That's going to be the next way to go. Just physical silver. I would recommend buying silver quarters, silver dimes, and probably Morgan silver and dollars. If you're not really sure about what you're doing, there's a lot of fake silver bullion out there. So if you don't know what you're doing, you should always buy from a reputable dealer. But still, the easiest way, those 3 things: physical silver in your possession, you can hide somewhere. And that's pretty much where I am at the moment. Ran into a little bit of tight. Money's kind of tight right now. A lot of crap going on at once. You know how when life throws at you. But that's where I am. I can buy a little bit of silver here and there, and I believe that's the best investment. You can, the fluctuations are more than with gold. Before silver tripled in value, gold doubled about. But it took a big drop too, so it can fluctuate either way. But, you buy a little bit here and there and you put it aside. And there you go. That would be the second one. Silver. Just silver bullion. Another way to go about this, if you have a little bit more money with bullion, would be gold. The cheapest you're going to find would be a Cougaron, right? African Cougarons, the higher the denomination, the lower premium you're going to pay. So, like say an American Eagle, right? $5. There's a heck of a premium on that. You want to buy the most for as little as possible. So that's another thing you could do. If you have the money, I recommend Cougarons. That was what I always bought. They weigh a little bit over an ounce, but they have exactly 1 ounce of gold in them. They had a little bit of copper, but still, it's an ounce of gold in that coin. That's what it's worth. If gold goes up, you can put quite a bit of money in a little bitty package and bury that or hide it somewhere. I always recommend having some physical metals where you can get to, right? That's going to be definitely, base metal coins. Then you've got your silver bullion, then your gold bullion. Another way to go there. And finally, and people, will disagree. And I'm not saying put all your eggs in one basket, of course. I'm saying, do different things. But I would say stock. If you know the right stock, you can do well on this. It is possible, and hold on here before you start leaving all kinds of comments. Yes, it's possible the government could confiscate stuff. They say that, I forget if it was Executive Order 6160, I forget, it's been so long, but that gold coins were exempt. They were rare or numismatic collectibles, but they didn't specify what that was, right? They asked everybody to turn it in, and there was a penalty if you didn't, but they didn't actually go around door to door collecting it. So that's why physical stuff is better. But on the other hand, let's say that you own stocks. And I'm going to leave a list of stocks that I recommend. Even if you don't buy them, what I recommend you do is, I guess it wouldn't make any difference at that point, but you can take a list, go check them out, see what their present value is in the date, and then look at them 5 years, years from now. I think the U.S. stock market, most of U.S. stocks collapse or lose a lot. I've said that to my coworkers, like, how the heck do you know that? Everything's overvaluated, man. There's some good things happening, but we're still in massive debt. We're spending way more than we have. Infrastructure spending money we don't have. The intentions are good, but if you're broke, you're broke. And it just keeps going. More and more people getting on the government wagon. It's we spend more than we bring in, there's a problem. We borrow and spend too much. It's just the way it is. So I would say, and here's my plan of attack with stock. And this is if you have money to do this. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. But I'm not into momentum trading, right? My approach would be heavily in mining, right? Oil, energy, some medical tech, international telecom, right? Currency commodities, right? Stocks and good companies in countries that have commodity currencies that would do well if the dollar fell. Now, yes, Uncle Sam, they could go and confiscate all that, but if you did that, think about this logically. If you did go and you commandeer everybody's assets, what is that saying to the rest of the world? Absolutely, positively do not invest in the U.S. because your money is just going to get taken. It's going to get stolen. Right there, an investment wasteland. You would, to be drilling a hole in the ship they're in. So it is possible, and I don't say put all your eggs in one basket, but let's just say, for example, the price of gold was to take a pretty good jump. Well, then the price of gold mining stock would go up. It would have a hell of a percentage increase. Same thing with silver. If it went up a couple bucks, the silver miners, that'd be a heck of a jump, right? So anyway, I'm going to leave a list in the description bar of stocks I would go with. Some I have, some I had and I sold a little bit off, and others are some that I would actually buy if I had. Let's say I win a good scratch off ticket or something, came into some coin, weekly grant or something, hey, this is what I'd be doing, right? And you know, I'm just chugging along, you know, and that's what I'd be doing. Now, for those of you, hey, you know, don't want to, just curious, well then take a list at some of the stock prices and then check it next year, right? I think they're going to do very well. I'll do the stocks that, you know, the big names everybody wants. I mean, Apple and all this other stuff, you know, Facebook. To each their own. I just think that my plan of attack is based on believing that U.S. dollar is going to continue to drop in value. And if Uncle Sam did commandeer everything, well then they're ensuring nobody's ever going to invest any money. And I mean, you'd basically sink your own country, you're sinking your own ship, knowing that. So I'm going to leave a list in the description bar. You can check it out. This is not legal advice. I'm not a stockbroker or anything, you know. I'm just an average Joe. This is what I do. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, right? Again, these are stocks that I wish I had the money to buy, some that I own, and some that I own but I had to sell off, get a little cash. But I put my money where my mouth is. Now, on another note, you guys should probably check out, if you don't have an investment firm, you know, I would say Vanguard or BlackRock, because, well, liberals want to boycott them because they have money in firearm makers, right? They don't want to support, they don't should support anybody that supports the Second Amendment or guns. So you know what? You're going to put money, if you decide to do this, maybe you got to check into those too, just to piss them off, right? Make a little bit of money, and you know, and again, not all your eggs in one basket. Physical precious metals and base metals, if you want to invest like that, it's probably your best bet. And again, because a small jump in gold or silver can make a huge jump in the miners, well then you wouldn't need to necessarily put that much, you know, don't put 50-50. You can do other things, and don't forget, buy other things like food, you know, stock up on water, medical supplies, learn skills, all that good stuff, guys. But anyway, this video is went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but hey, I got a question, I thought I'd answer it, and you know, just my 2 cents on that. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.